نفذ سلاح الجو المسير في القوات المسلحة اليمنية بعون الله تعالى عملية عسكرية نوعية تمثلت في استهداف أحد الأهداف المهمة في منطقة يافا المحتلة، ما يسمى إسرائيليا تل أبيب.
From the beginning of the war, I made it clear that Israel will act against all those who attack us. This is why earlier today, I asked the Israeli cabinet to back my decision to strike against the Houthi targets in Yemen. The port that was targeted is not an innocent port. It's used as the entry point for weapons that are supplied by Iran to its Houthi terrorist proxies. The Houthis have used those weapons to attack Israel, to attack Arab states in the region, to attack many others. This strike comes in direct response to the killer drone attack yesterday that killed one person and injured several others 100 yards from the U.S. consulate in Tel Aviv. But the aggression of the Houthis goes well beyond that single attack. Because for the past 8 months, the Houthis have launched hundreds of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones against Israel. The only reason those attacks have not caused a greater loss of life has been the defensive measures taken by Israel and its allies, which together have intercepted hundreds of projectiles. I would like to thank the United States, Britain, France, and other members of the International Maritime Coalition that was formed to repel Houthi attacks. But the drone attack that struck Israel in the early morning hours yesterday shows that more than defensive action is needed to curtail the Houthis. Offensive action is also needed. It's needed to ensure that Iran's terror proxies pay a price for their brazen aggression. For over half a year, the Houthis have not only attacked Israel, they've also targeted the ships of dozens of countries traversing the Bab el-Mandeb Straits. This is a maritime corridor through which some 30% of the world's maritime commerce flows. The international community must redouble its efforts to protect this vital waterway and to hold both the Houthis and their Iranian sponsors accountable for their aggression. Today, Israel is being attacked by Iran and its proxies on 7 fronts. The Houthis in Yemen, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shiite militias in Iraq and in Syria, Iran-backed terror attacks in Judea and Samaria, and of course, attacks directly conducted by Iran itself, as the world saw on April 14th. In defending ourselves against this Iranian terror axis, Israel stands on the front lines against a regime that threatens the entire Middle East, it threatens the entire world. This is why all those who seek a more secure and stable Middle East should fully support Israel's action against this terror axis in Yemen, in Gaza, in Lebanon, and elsewhere. And to Israel's enemies, I have a simple message. Do not doubt Israel's determination to defend itself on every front. All those who seek to harm us will pay a very heavy price for their aggression.
Over the last 9 months, the Houthi terrorist group, Iran's terror proxy, in Yemen has launched over 200 aerial attacks against Israeli civilians and infrastructures. On Friday morning, in one of these UAV attacks, the Houthis fired an Iranian explosive UAV from Yemen into Israeli territory. The UAV hit an apartment building in the center of Tel Aviv, near the U.S. Embassy branch office in the city, killing an Israeli civilian, 50-year-old Evgeny Feder, and injuring several others. The Houthis' attacks are acts of aggression, a violation of international law, and a threat to the international peace and security. Today, Israel stepped up its actions in self-defense against these attacks. the Israeli Air Force conducted precise strikes on Houthi military targets in Yemen. The military target was the El Hodeidah port, used by the Houthis as a main supply route for the transfer of Iranian weapons from Iran to Yemen, like the UAV itself that was used in the attack on Friday morning. In the area of the port, the Israeli Air Force struck dual-use infrastructure used for terrorist activities, including energy infrastructures. Israel's necessary and proportionate strikes were carried out in order to stop the Houthi terror attacks. However, this threat goes far beyond Israel. The Houthis target other countries in the Middle East, the United States of America, and the world with their attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea, and not just the Red Sea. Who is behind the Houthis? One country, Iran. The Iranian regime funds, arms, and directs the Houthi terror activity. Israel is fighting a multi-front war against Iran's aggression proxies, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Iranian militias in Syria and Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen. The International Maritime Coalition, led by United States Central Command, as well as the IDF, have stopped many of those Houthis' attacks in recent months. We see common interests for all countries attacked by Iranian-backed Houthi terrorism to stand together against this threat. Today, this was an IDF-only action. I want to repeat it. Today, this was an IDF-only action. We will continue to defend the people of Israel from all threats, near and far.